honey wedding, confirmed. Now, before the world could heal it, had to remember where it hurt. Pain does not arrive as a stranger. It comes wearing familiar faces. History, inheritance, silence, survival. It lives in the body long after the moment has passed, curling itself into muscles, into habits, into the stories we tell ourselves about who we are allowed to be. The wounds we carry are not always visible. Some bleed loudly, wars etched into landscapes, names carved into stone, sirens splitting the night. Others ache quietly, unmarked by scars, hidden behind smiles, practiced like armor. A child learns early which questions are dangerous. An adult learns which dreams must be postponed indefinitely. A nation learns how to forget without ever forgiving. And still, the wounds remain. They pass from generation to generation, like heirlooms. No, when asked for. Fear dressed as caution, anger dressed as strength, shame dressed as discipline. The past does not stay in the past. It knocks, it waits, it insists on being acknowledged. There were stories the world buried because they were inconvenient. Stories of stolen land and stolen breath, of bodies treated as tools, voices dismissed as noise, lives reduced to numbers. The earth remembers them all. Every step taken on contested ground carries echoes. Every river knows what it has carried away. Every wall remembers what it was built to keep out. Humanity learned to build defenses not just of stone and steel, but of indifference. Indifference was easier than grief, easier than accountability, easier than the long work of repair. So hearts hardened, borders thickened, empathy thinned. People learned to look away without seeing themselves disappear. Yet, even in the deepest fractures, something stirred. Pain, when finally faced, becomes a teacher. It asks hard questions. Who was hurt? Who benefited? Who remained silent? Who paid the price for peace that was never theirs? The answers were uncomfortable. They demanded humility. They demanded listening without defense. Some resisted, some denied, some tried to rewrite the past with prettier words. But truth is patient. It waits until it is ready to be spoken aloud. In living rooms and courtrooms, in classrooms and kitchens, the stories began to surface. A grandmother spoke of hunger she had never named before. A father admitted fear he had mistaken for authority. A survivor found language for a pain that had lived too long without witness. And the telling changed things, not instantly, not easily, but irrevocably, because once pain is named it, can no longer pretend it doesn't exist. Tears flowed again, this time not only from loss, but from recognition. I see you. I believe you. I'm sorry. 3 sentences capable of reshaping the world. Still, forgiveness was not demanded. Healing was not rushed. No one was asked to be brave for someone else's comfort. Instead, there was space for rage that had been swallowed, space for grief that had been postponed, space for exhaustion that had been mislabeled as weakness. The body spoke, sometimes shaking, sometimes collapsing, sometimes finally resting. And within that vulnerability, something unexpected appeared. Connection. Pain, once isolated, found company. Wounds, once hidden, found mirrors. People realized they were not alone in their breaking. Even those who had caused harm began to feel the weight of it, not as punishment, but as a responsibility. Guilt became a doorway, not a destination. What do we do now? The world asked quietly. The answer did not come as instruction, it came as invitation. Stay, listen, repair what you can, mourn what you cannot undo, choose differently next time. This was not redemption yet. This was reckoning, and reckoning is sacred work. It strips away illusion and leaves only what is real. It humbles the powerful and dignifies the wounded. It teaches that innocence is not the same as goodness, and intention is not the same as impact. Through reckoning, the world learned a second lesson, that peace without truth is only quiet violence. That harmony built on silence will eventually collapse. That love, to be real, must be willing to confront. So the wounds were held instead of hidden, bandaged with honesty, tended with patience, exposed to air and light. Some scars remained. They always would. But scars, unlike wounds, tell a different story. They say this happened, and I lived, and I am still becoming. The journey was far from over, but the ground beneath it had shifted from denial to awareness, from isolation to shared humanity. And somewhere in that fragile space, hope, quiet, cautious, persistent, took its first unsteady breath. In the beginning, there was a hush, not silence, but a listening, as if the universe leaned inward to hear its own heartbeat. Light rested gently on the edges of things, on leaf and stone and skin, and beauty did not shouted, whispered,